Hi, and welcome to the podcast. My name is Jesse. I'm your host, and today I'm going to be joined by my friend Kelly. Say hi, Kelly.
Hi.
So today we're going to be talking about some Season 6, kind of end of season stuff. If you haven't seen Season 6, don't listen to this because it's going to spoil a lot of things. Basically, we're going to be talking about a theory that I came up with on Reddit. And I'll put the link to the theory in the description. But it's basically about Jon Snow, where he goes from here after being resurrected, and his link with Melisandre. Does he have like a link with her now that she brought him back to life? So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. And I wanted to get your opinion, Kelly. What do you think about a potential link between Jon Snow and Melisandre? Does that exist?
I don't think it bodes well at all. Seriously, though. I think she's at her end of the rope. She's got a long run, and she's foreseeing her own death. I mean, lately, everything that she's been doing, it seems like she's grasping at straw. She gets with Stannis because she thought he was going to end up grabbing the Iron Throne and everything, and when that completely went south for her, it didn't bode well, so she went for the next best thing, which would be Jon. And honestly, I think with Jon's heritage and everything else, she's just trying to go for the strongest game player. And she has no way of getting a hold of Daenerys or anything,
I don't think she's aware of Daenerys, though. I don't think she's even aware of her.
I think if she is as strong with, the God of Light and everything else, she should have foreseen Daenerys. I think, personally, when it comes to Mel, she does have some magic. She can foresee some things, but not as much she likes to put off as she can.
Okay, but now that she's actually succeeded in resurrecting someone, which she didn't really even fully believe that was possible until it happened, now that she's brought Jon back to life, don't you think that she sees that there's something special in him, that she wants to stick around him because there's something special, not because he's the strongest politically?
Well, no, I think she does want to stick around him. Maybe that she probably didn't believe in herself as much as she fully could have until that point. Like you said, she didn't think it was fully possible until she did it.
Yeah.
Everybody else were believing that she could, and
yeah.
she finally got to the point where, hey, if they believe, maybe I can put a little bit more faith behind my own self on this point.
Right.
However, he is still the strongest player political-wise on that side. And not just that, but I mean, maybe she does do something more powerful on him.
Yeah.
She's seen the way, he was reacted to by the White Walkers before he went down. And now that he is back, she sees it even stronger.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something that she senses in him, just based on the conversations she had with him after the resurrection. Even though he doesn't understand it and he doesn't really believe, but she still does. And yeah, I definitely think there's something there that he's really her only significance in life. Without him, she wouldn't really know what to do or where to go anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's just her that has seen something in him. I mean, if you look at the Wild, alright, they didn't want anything to do with him because he's a crow. They already had one crow leader and everything, but when that went down with the violence between him and everything, and he ends up leading them all, I think, my sister's in the background, she's got to point everybody who sees Jon, sees what he gets to know him, sees what a good leader he is. But I think it's more to that, because they just see him not just as a strong leader and everything. I mean, they actually follow him out of their comfort zone, all the way up to the White Walkers, to the face of death, per se.
Yeah.
And it's like, if they just saw him as a good, strong leader and hadn't known him for that long, why the hell would they go after the White Walkers? I mean, that's the one thing that the wildlings actually fear, aside from reform society.
Yeah, well, now they really have a reason to fear him. But that's a good point.
Not that, but he's been brought back to life and everything. He's not just a strong leader. He's more like a god per se.
Right, but they didn't. The wildlings didn't actually. The wildlings didn't actually see Jon be brought back to life.
They realize that even if they live their life in the process, a better way of life will come around for people after them.
Okay.
That's true.
Well, the thing is that the wildlings never actually saw Jon being brought back to life, so I don't even think that Tormund had a chance to tell them. Tormund's really the only guy who kind of believes that Jon is something more than just a human. Like, there might be something spiritual about him. But I think the reason why the wildlings got behind Jon is because Tormund...
was so strong and following him.
Yeah, Tormund really believes in Jon.
That they knew Tormund for forever and a day. You know, that is a good point.
Yeah.
That is really a good point.
And I don't really know what the wildlings, like, their belief system is, or whether they have any superstitions. I'm sure they do, but, you know, maybe...
I imagine they're more like the pagans, you know?
Okay.
Not something conformed or whatnot, but there is something greater out there, and I'm not going to spin a whole different pagan beliefs because that's a broad subject on its own.
Yeah.
But he is a force of nature should be reckoned with.
Right.
You know, I mean, he does what he does, and it's clear to see that he is favored. That there's something special about him. He's just not a mere man.
Oh, yeah.
Even if Tormund has not told anybody about it.
Right. I don't think he has. I don't think he's really had a chance to. But I think, you know, it's pretty telling that Tormund has so much faith in Jon. It's like, wow, Tormund has faith in this guy, and Tormund doesn't really have, you know, faith in that many people. So, also, I feel like with Jon being the leader of the wildlings and them trusting him so much, and then they see what he can do, he actually killed one of the White Walkers, you know. I don't know how many people saw that.
Something that nobody can do.
Right. I don't know how many
But he
people...
actually killed one.
I don't know how many people saw that, but I'm sure that someone's going to tell them, you know, hey, Jon actually killed a White Walker. But I think that Jon is fulfilling this Azor Ahai prophecy, like, you know, just naturally, like, based on his leadership skills.
I think he is a huge, when it comes to that, I think a huge role of it, when it comes to the White Walkers, has something to do with his lineage, though.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get past that. He has
yeah.
the blood of the dragon in him. That's fire. I mean,
Definitely.
the White Walkers might not see him as a threat, but they definitely see him as a force to be reckoned with.
Right.
And it makes me think the whole thing, you know, fire versus ice.
Yeah.
What to make him stronger? It just can't be the start blood. I mean, there's some party people. I mean, they are the North.
Yeah.
But we're talking about true North, beyond the wall North. We're talking about, that's what we're talking about, dragon, the blood of the dragon. I mean,
Yeah.
and the Baratheons. I mean, there's some real strong bloodlines, but that's what I'm saying. You should Baratheons. Yeah. But anyway, it's been a while. But it's the blood of the dragon, and I think, honestly, that's what Mel really sees in him, is that strong, you know, I think that's what she's finding in him.
Right.
And with her being a leader, you know, her being one of the high rollers of, you know, the Lord of the Light and everything, my thing is, back when she gave birth to that smoking demon thing or whatever it was came out of her, if she is of the light, how can the dark come from her? Because you got to think of it this way.
Well, light creates shadows.
You know, childbirth and everything is, well, I mean, light does bring shadows, but birth itself is a semblance of new. It's a new beginning and everything else. And I mean, I know light comes from darkness and darkness comes from light, but would darkness start off, would the child of someone of the light start off as darkness like that? And then on top of it, kill someone?
Well, she's definitely a shady character. Like, we're not too certain if her powers lean more towards evil or good, and that's intentional on George Martin's part. But yeah, she's definitely a mystery. And my whole thing about this topic was, where does she go from here? Now that, she's been outed at Davos, it's like she basically convinced Stannis to sacrifice his daughter, and the daughter was tortured, and died for practically no reason. So Melisandre,
everyone loved the daughter.
Yeah.
That was a wrong move on her part. If
Yeah,
you go after somebody, go after your enemy.
and it's like,
Cut off the head of the snake. Don't cut off the heads of, the figure you're trying to stand behind, what you're trying to put forward. That was the wrong move altogether.
right, but at being a highly devoted religious person, that's what she felt was right, and she was being loyal to her, her religion, her whole, life, her whole life's purpose, right? And now that she feels guilty about it because it didn't produce anything really, as far as she knows. Maybe it produced something in the long run or to come later on down the road, but as far as she knows right now, it had a very negative outcome. So, she gets banished, even though she brought Jon back to life. Where does she go from here? What's next for her?
Not only that, but what if something turns around and goes horribly wrong? Because, as we all know, everything that happens is first going good for everybody it's supposed to go good for in Game of Thrones. The universe pulls the rug out from him. What happens if Jon dies again and she cannot bring him back?
Right. We definitely have to question Jon now, because whenever someone is brought back to life, it's like they're not quite the same as they once were. Like, what was the price that was paid to get Jon's life back? Is he now somehow indebted to this Lord of Light or whoever?
What are you going to think? Whenever he was brought back and everything, he told her if he were to die again, not to do it again.
Yeah.
But who all else heard that? And who else is going to believe, oh, well, he got brought back once before, who wants to stay dead?
Right, yeah. And if he were to die again and Melisandre was there, I'm sure everybody would be like, hey, bring him back, bring him back, bring him back. And she'd probably refuse,
Yeah, because he made her swear and everything, but that's still going to look like she can't do it. And then, how a lot of sheep are, they see it now, you can do it again, and if you can't do it again, oh, you're not who you say you were.
Yeah.
Even though you've already proven the fact.
Yeah, so she's really in a bad position. But, do you think there's any redemption for her? Will she be redeemed somehow later on?
I think now that she has actually brought Jon back and she's actually started to see that it's not all smoke and mirrors what she was doing, she actually has more full belief in herself.
Mm-hmm.
She has started to change a little.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's any redemption for her. I mean,
yeah,
she can do what she can.
Right.
And as long as she doesn't try to put it upon herself that she's all powerful and she can do everything, whatever she wants, and it doesn't go to her head, there might be somewhat of a chance of redemption to her. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I don't know. We'll just have to see how it plays out.
Right.
But personally, maybe I might be biased on that answer, because I didn't like her to start with.
Yeah, well, I think that was intentional too. That you kind of get a creepy vibe from her in the beginning, and you lean towards not liking her and not trusting her. But I feel like later on in the story, especially when she gets closer to Jon, you kind of you kind of start liking her and feeling like, oh, she probably has a purpose and it's going to help out our favorite characters.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a possible thought to it and everything. But I mean, I really don't know.
I'm thinking right now, she's not conceited at all. I think she's quite the opposite. She's feeling really guilty. What was that?
She said that she was already full of herself when she was with Stannis, and when Stannis died, she got knocked down a peg.
Oh, she got knocked down big time. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I think right now she's kind of like, she's on the verge of suicide if something doesn't come clear to her You know, I think she's really close to being on the verge of suicide.
I think that the only thing that saved her from committing suicide or being on the verge of that was the fact that Jon did get brought back.
Yeah, you're probably right, yeah.
You gotta remember, there's also that scene where she sat there in the room by herself when she's taking off the armlet and she's taking off her jewelry and everything, and she becomes this very, very old, brittle shell of a person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like...
Well, that's her true self, because she actually...
Not to her true self, but she... My sister thinks that's to show how old she is, but I think there's also a symbolism there as if she's, you know, willing to show herself that much, even to herself, she's also starting to, you know...
Yeah.
Have a reality look.
Yeah.
A reality check of who she truly is and everything.
Oh, yeah.
She's also starting to see, you know, for herself and believing in herself.
Yeah.
Truly who she is.
Right. Right. I'm gonna share a theory that I came up with a little while ago. Not a little while ago. Back during episode 2 of last season, I started to convince myself that it was basically what it was. The key ingredient to bringing Jon back to life was that Davos had so much faith in Melisandre. He had so much desire to see Jon come back to life. I think that was the missing ingredient other times when Melisandre tried to do something. There really wasn't that strong faith.
Yeah. I mean, he actually had two faith, whereas Stannis, it wasn't as faith for him.
Yeah.
But he had this nice hot piece of ass, and I'll go whatever you say, and it was more or less than faith. You know what I mean?
Well...
Davos, he truly hated the woman.
Actually...
Seeing what her power could do.
Yeah. I disagree about Stannis lusting after her. I don't think he was lusting after her much at all. But I think he was definitely power hungry, and he was like, whatever it takes, just whatever it takes, I'll do it. He was very, one-dimensionally focused on just achieving his goal.
The belief power was not pure.
Right. In other words...
It was self-centered and everything.
Yes.
I have the belief that you could bring him back.
Yes.
For the good of all.
Right. With Stannis, it was... Yeah, with Stannis, it was very self-centered. He was all about achieving his goal any way possible. And he didn't genuinely believe in, the things Melisandre told him. He just had, a hope. Well, if it works out in my favor, great. Then I'll believe in it. He didn't truly believe. Unlike Davos. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I know what you're saying. And it's I think his belief got actually put to the test and everything when it was time for his daughter to be led up to that tier.
Yeah.
Fire.
Right.
And I think what pushed it really was the jealousy that his wife had of his daughter and his relationship and everything. That was what really, more what got her up on that fire than his belief in her. And I think when it came to that point in time, the look on his face and the woman that's stopping him, stopping her from doing it, that's what right there showed that his faith in her was very one-sided, very one-dimensional for his own gain.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I never saw it or thought about it from that angle. I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, I mean, his wife's jealousy was always there from the get-go and everything. I mean, she downright hated her daughter.
Oh.
But when it came to it and everything, she saw her own child burning. She's like, this is wrong, and that's when that whole motherhood started snapping into her. But what they say, hindsight's 20/20, and some people just.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that on the YouTube cast, so that's by the way.
Right. Well, we're getting close to the end of the podcast here, and I just wanted to lay down one more theory about what I think is going to happen with Melisandre. Is that, like I said, she's going to be on the verge of suicide because of her guilt. And then all of a sudden, she sees something in the flames, and this time, or maybe she prays to the Lord of Light and says, give me a sign not to end it, not to kill myself. And she sees very, very clearly, more clearly than she's ever seen before, Daenerys. She sees Daenerys. And so she's driven to go and find Daenerys and try and get Daenerys together with Jon.
I think that's where it all comes down from. I honestly do believe that. She sees Daenerys, and she also, when she sees that in the fire, she knows, okay, this is definitely why I saw the power in him.
Yeah.
You know, this is the match that needs to be done, because
exactly.
whenever it comes to this, whether it be a child or just a bond between them,
yeah,
it's going to bring everything to the closure that it needs.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
I honestly believe that may actually be her redemption and saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
If she makes that happen and doesn't let her, you know, her own end game get into the way of it,
yeah,
and her own ego step back up into the play, I think now that she's done seen her true self and let herself realize this is who I truly am, I think that was the only reason why she was able to see Dany inside the fire, and I think she makes this happen, that would be her redemption. Other than that, there's no saving grace for her.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. In the book, the book talks a lot about. Well, Melisandre is always saying that the Lord of Light made us man and woman for a reason, and that there's power in our connection. Yeah. So I think that's very telling that she's going to partner Jon with a powerful female, and that, you know, together they're going to do something big. So that's where I think the story's going. And it's really exciting.
Yeah. I was thinking, as long as she remembers that she's not the powerful female to play that role.
Yeah.
And it, you know, as long as she realizes, hey, you know, Jon Snow knows nothing when it comes to that.
Oh yeah, he truly does. He's very, very ignorant in that regard. Poor Johnny.
He knows nothing.
Oh,
He'll learn, but he knows nothing.
Yeah, he's learning. Anyway, I think that will end our discussion for today. It's been a lot of fun, and I want to thank everyone on YouTube for listening and watching. Please subscribe and like us. And thanks for being on the show, Kelly.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.